Okay, what's up, everyone? Let's play some Vintage Cube, my favorite format these days. I wanted to practice for the Vegas qualifiers, but it took a while to get this fired, so hopefully it'll be a good one. Yeah, I'm starting off with a Mox Pearl, so no need to talk too much more about that. Obviously, Mana Drain, Oko, and Fetchland are trailing by quite a bit, but they're the next best cards in the pack. So I wanted to do a giveaway today, and I basically wanted to each of you to highlight a card that you think is underrated amongst other players, and kind of highlight why you think it should be higher on people's pick order or should make people's decks more often, etc. For me, I'm going to go with Preacher of the Schisms, which is a card that is a 3-mana 2/4 lifelink Death Touch. No, not lifelink. No, not lifelink. But it can gain life if you get the vampire token, and it's a card that blocks fairly well, and it's a snowball if it does not get, dealt with. So I actually like that card quite a bit in my fair black decks. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to hear what yours is. Also, I mean, I guess you can say something like, "Oh, I think it's Mox Pearl. It should be higher on the Mox picking order." I mean, that'll work, but preferably it's some, Dark Horse card. Next pack here, it's basically Mystic Confluence versus Through the Breach, I feel like. Flame Slash, shout out to that card. It's a fine card. Underworld Breach. I'm not going to take Underworld Breach. I actually talked recently to a guy in a coaching session, and I tried to basically explain when do I pick Underworld Breach, when do I pick cards like Doomsday Thassa's Oracle, and the pack has to be quite bad in order for me to spec on those cards. But I will do it if it's almost free. Let's take the Mystic Confluence here and see if we can get a nice blue control deck out of it. But yeah, who knows? Next pack, we follow up with Counterspell. That's pretty nice, right? Pretty nice follow-up. Let's say I go with Through the Breach in the other pack. Then what am I even doing here? So very, very happy with that one. The Counterspell is always a good card, especially when I already have a good reason to be blue. Other cards that are good in this pack, Esper Sentinel for white aggro, Triome to stay open. But other than that, not the best pack. I mean, Jite, sure. A Harvester if I'm already red-black, sure, but very happy with the Counterspell. And then I just get sent a good old Mana Leak. Mana Leak is a card that is almost on par with the Counterspell. Less reliable, easier to cast. 2-mana counter, kind of does the same thing early on. And later, chances are it will get to counter something, and it oftentimes counters something that's more expensive than Mana Leak, so we're trading well on mana. Jason Mind Sculptor would have been decent here. Volcanic Island is probably the one I would have taken after Mana Leak, but pretty good situation to have. And now the Counterspell Barrage is over. But we had a good run, 3 good counters in a row, and now I basically have to decide which direction I want to lean. And I think I'm just going to go Thundering Falls. It's a fetchable, it's a surveil land. It's better than, speculating on a red card or Thraben Inspector. Thraben Inspector, I will say, is my second pick out of this pack. Mainly because of the Mox Pearl. I don't think it's crazy to take Thraben Inspector, but you would need to have a pretty good idea that that's the direction you're going. Okay, so now we have Iteration and Memory Lapse. These cards, let's say I was already established in Izzet, it would be extremely close. But I think since I'm not established in Izzet, I'm just going to take Memory Lapse here and basically take every good mono blue card out of the pack to set myself better up for later. Wow, here's Spell Pierce. So we're just playing Counterspell.deck. Passing up on an Underground Sea and a Parallax Wave. I guess Retrofitter is also a great card. Okay. I mean, Counterspells are good, so why not? Okay, now it's time to make some kind of decision. I think this is Fractured Identity versus Vampiric Tutor. So what am I most likely in the need for? Is it something that deals with stuff on the board, which makes a lot of sense with all my counters, because something will get through, or is it a tutor? But the thing about Vampiric Tutor is it's only worth it if I have, like, Ancestral, Time Walk, Tinker, Balance, like those type cards. So I'm actually going to go with Fractured here. Maybe I'm gonna be blue-white, maybe it's gonna be Alpha Splash. Who knows? Wow. Pretty, I mean, I really like, I could have mentioned actually Chrome Seed Shark in the underrated column. I really like that card. It's just a card that rewards you for playing the magic I would normally play, like casting spells. And then it's a little bit nicer with cards like, Snuff Out, Dig Through Time, Force of Will, stuff like that. So I'm gonna take that card. If this wasn't here, I could have speculated on Worldspine Worm for Flash. But I actually think taking the Siege Arc here is awesome. It's another, like, it's fine on defense. It can spiral the game. Pretty nice start to this draft. I really like this. Now I can take Sensei's Divining Top or Galvanic Discharge. Worth noting is that Flame Slash is gone from the pack, which makes a lot of sense. Maybe I just take Galvanic Discharge. I don't know if I'm red, but if I am, I kind of want my removal spells. Okay, maybe I just take Sunfall here. It's actually been a while since I've been playing Blue-White Control. I haven't had a Wrath or a Sunfall in my deck for quite some time, so let's take that over the Larcenist. Fun fact is Larsen is a Danish surname. Okay, I really like this start. So right now I don't know if I'm playing this Discharge or the Sunfall. I doubt I'm playing both. The thing about red is it's easier to get, cheap stuff, cheap removal spells. The thing about white is it's better to get, quality permanents. But now that I have the Sweeper and the Fractured and the Pearl, I guess the Pearl and the Land is kind of a wash. I right now highly favor the white. But, stuff can change. I can get, like, Fable the Mirror Breaker into a Lightning Bolt or Fury into whatever. And all of a sudden, I'm favoring red. Because right now it looks like if I'm actually going red, I'll just put the Sunfall in the sideboard and still splash the Fractured. So it's not that bad. Maybe Grim Lavamancer is going to be a sideboard card. There's also a little bit of a wizard theme going on. I don't know. Might not be relevant for me. I think I'll take the Star here. I actually don't think the Star is terrible. I oftentimes find, some kind of synergy for it. Okay. I don't mind Staff, but let's see. Staff needs some other cards to fuel it, I will say. Because it says whenever you create one or more creature tokens, so it doesn't work with Chrome Host. Okay, I mean, Talisman is not a 0% to make my deck. It's a card that's good with balance, and if I somehow want to play both colors, but I'm short on fixing, because it's actually the correct colors. Okay, wow. Mox Emerald here over, well, with a wide margin, but over Caracas? Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. So in a perfect world, we don't play these. And now we're up double power, which is awesome because a deck like this can oftentimes fall behind. We can deal with the stack so well, but falling behind is like the Achilles heel of this type of strategy. Okay, what do we have here? We have a Daze as the best card, and we have a Lelia. Lelia is a card that is just good on its own. It's not really good in our deck. And we have a lot of bad hits from it, like, flipping over counterspells, etc. So Lelia, you in a perfect world, you're more proactive if you want to play that card. I think I'm just gonna go Daze here. Combination of how Lelia works with the cards I already have, and the fact that I'm not sure about the colors. I will say you can get to a point where too many counters is actually a thing, so I will keep an eye out for that one. I'm not going to go out of my way to get more counter spells. Let me put it that way. Okay, here's Nadu. It's probably the best card in this pack, but I don't think I'm in a position to take that. I do think I'm in a position to take True Name Nemesis. I like True Name Nemesis. Like True Name, the Seed Sharks, stuff like that is like my ideal win conditions for this deck. And if I'm not taking that card, I'm taking like a super role player like Dress Down, but I actually think this is a good True Name deck, so let's get that in there. So right now, I don't know about the cards in this pile. I know about the rest of these cards. These cards are awesome. I have a star and a talisman in case I need some more fixing. Okay. This pack is not the best, but there is a Smirking Spelljacker, which is a card that I like a lot. The problem is I already have 2 good 5-drops. But there's really nothing else for me unless... Okay. I just noticed the dam. You know, when I scoured the pack, I registered it as a black card. But this will put me... Now I have 2 Wraths, which means my opponent is more than welcome to play to the board. And I can kind of get rid of that kind of stuff. Okay. I like this a lot. So now I have double Wrath, which is an actual plan, you know? Then you can actually rely on it. And here's Prismatic Vista to improve my mana. I think since I'm aiming for straight up 2-color, there's no reason to get cute with Windswept Heath. Windswept Heath is better if I end up finding a Tundra or Hallowed Fountain before closing time. But I think I'm just taking the Prismatic Vista here to... I mean, it's 100% that this upgrades my mana. Pretty cool pack here with Ragavan with 6. I guess there's just a lot of good red-green stuff here. Very nice Prismatic Vista for me. Super excited for that one, because my deck needs to support turn 2 Counterspell, turn 3 True Name, turn 4 Wrath sometimes, right? Not necessarily in the same game, though, but, you know. That's the mana requirements. So here, I could either speculate on the Green Splash with Lush Portico, or I could just take Bauble and try and basically play 39 cards. Right now, Bauble doesn't do anything. Quickly looking at my deck. But I think it's just a fine card. Let's take the Bauble. Now I'm really trying to play blue at control. I haven't done that in months, so this is pretty exciting. Let's just put the staff in the sideboard for now. Okay. I might play the Talisman out of this deck, but not sure. Might need a little bit of more synergy. I mean, I have 3 5-drops, so maybe that is just enough synergy. Speaking of Talisman, here's the better Talisman alongside a 3/1. So I think I just take the Talisman here. I don't think it's realistic for me to get a good Academy deck from here, although I have double Mox and Bauble. And I could play these 2 artifacts. So what if I do like this? Like, that card is back, that card is back. I take Academy. I mean, I'm willing to give it a go. I don't think giving up a Talisman is that big of a deal. Okay, why not? And here's a Tinker. So now the question becomes, can we get Tinker to work before the draft is done? Or are we just taking the path to exile because we know it's going to be good in our deck? I'm ready to play into some upside here. So we got Academy Tinker, second Mox out of this pack. And an additional Wrath. And we're only playing 2 creatures. Yeah, I mean, I really like this. We just randomly, after picking, you know, Talisman and Stars very late in the first pack, we just randomly have enough artifacts to at least consider the Academy plan. Here's a research desk. The thing about research desk, let's see. So if I take research desk, I will play the Thundering Falls. I mean, I think it's okay to basically say, I'm going to play some quote-unquote bad artifacts, but those bad artifacts are going to be good for something. Speaking of bad artifacts that are good for something, here's Expedition Map that lets me find Academy, which is, I mean, playable. These other cards are not, so... Yeah, I mean, now my deck kind of has both a powerful defensive plan and hopefully powerful offensive plan. I'm going to take this Mox Opal here, and maybe this will just come together half through the draft. Wow. So now I have 8 cheap artifacts. Sea Shark makes artifacts. Yeah, I mean, let's see. Voltaic Key is a card I'm not super excited to play, but I just might. Otawara upgrades my mana base. These cards are blanks. Okay. Show and Tell. I doubt I'm playing that card unless I get something like Bolus the Citadel and Portal to Phyrexia or something, but even then, I think I would just rather stick with the Tinker. Okay, last pack. There's a Demonic Tutor, and then I quickly go over my lands. Can I cast that card? Because if I have the Demonic Tutor and I can cast it, it's like having two Tinkers, but I don't have anything to tinker into, so I will need to both pick up Black Fixing and a Tinker target, but I think I'm taking it. I have a Prismatic Vista, so worst case, I play one Swamp. I have a Chromatic Star, which is like half a source. I have a Mox Opal, which is like 25% of a source, or something along those lines. I mean, Subtlety is a decent card. I like Palace Jailer, but I actually have like pretty good 4s and 5s, so I'm willing to make this gamble. And what do I have here? So I think I'm just supposed to take Watergrave over Narset. Watergrave is a card that cements my Demonic Tutor. I'm not giving up any good artifacts here, and Narset is good, but not absurd. And I think enabling the Demonic Tutor could be absurd, so let's go with that one. Here's Triplicate Titan. I can take that card and say, that's going to be my Tinker target if nothing else. Or I can take the Probe and kind of keep the wheels spinning. Maybe this is where I just check my Tinker box and move on. Yeah, let's take the Triplicate Titan. Yeah, I mean, there is a world that exists where I don't play these sweepers, and I basically play Mono Blue Splash, Demonic Tutor Splash, Fracture Identity. That world does exist. I am basically staying on my toes here to get ready, because I'm not 100% sure how this ends up. Let's do a playable count here, as I reserve this Tamiyo, which is very good with artifact synergies. So I have 5 lands. I have double Mox, that's 7. Then I have Opal, which is like half a source, but that's not counted. So I have 7 right now. Yeah, I mean, I'm well on track here. Tamiyo, very, very strong pickup. 4th pick. Makes clues. Is insane with Academy. Is a good card on its own. Yeah, I love that card. Also flips into a Planeswalker who hears Portal to Phyrexia. I can't pass that card. The question is, do I play both Tinker targets? Because one is like good early on an empty board, one is good later when the opponent has stuff in play. Yeah, I think I think I play both. Would have loved that Ponder, but I don't think I can let anybody with, a channel or this getting hate picked. I don't think I can let that happen, so. And here's a Force of Will or Preordain. So funnily enough, I think for this deck I'm gonna go for Preordain. Because I have so many counter spells. I'm gonna go with Preordain for consistency. Interesting. But I think I like that decision. So right now I basically have a full deck. Which makes me a little bit worried about which upgrades I need to make, etc. So here's Karn, a good proactive threat that cares about the number of artifacts. That's not bad. Okay, let's take Karn. Karn over Mana Tithe over Bolas the Citadel. Yeah, okay. Here's Talisman that casts Demonic Tutor. I should probably take that card. Taking it over Concealed Courtyard, I guess. Subtlety Wield. I think I'm taking Subtlety. I'm not 100% if I play it, though. So basically, with the way this has turned out, I think I'm playing Dam and Sunfall in the sideboard, and I'm playing the deck like this. Because, one, the stress on the mana is way, way smaller here. Like, 1 Identity, 1 Demonic Tutor. That's fixed by so little tampering with the mana base here. We can hate pick channel here, that's fine. And then I have the Wraths for creature-heavy matchups. I don't have any planes to go fetch. Fixing was tough, this one. So I'm really happy that I got at least a Vista and a Water Grave. I have a Pearl for white. Yeah, this is going to be just fine. These cards don't matter. I can take Thought Scour. I wanted to see. Yeah, I mean, no. I'm not going to complain here. This is a great deck. And I'm happy the Tinker provides for both the sweeper and the kind of fast proactive thing. I have stuff like Karn and Chrome Host. And I have great control elements. Yeah, this deck is going to be awesome. Will I play Fiery Islet over an island? I guess I. Ooh, okay. I like Seachrome there. A little bit of a free roll. So it looks like I have to cut one card. Not entirely sure about that one. Don't quote me. Let's see how many black sources I have built in. I have Water Grave and I have a Talisman, right? So I will need to register a Swamp and probably also a Plains. Like that. Will I play the Fiery Islet? That's kind of the question right now. The Fiery Islet is able to bring back the research desk. So is Thundering Falls. So is Talisman. So is Opal when on. So is Chromatic Star. Maybe I don't want to take that damage if I don't have to. I guess I can sideboard it in. How much blue do I have right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have plenty of blue. And this deck play 14 lands. I have 2 Real Moxes. I have 2 Talismans that kind of work as lands sometimes, but only if you make your land drops, I guess. Research Desk can go look. Map can... Okay, so I actually think this is okay with 14 lands. And yeah, I just have a cool-looking deck here. And sideboard options, I will have to sideboard some Plains alongside Double Sweeper against some matchups. And yeah, other than that, this looks pretty darn sweet. I'm happy we maneuvered into some artifact sub-theme. And I'll take a screenshot and get to the matches. Okay, time for round 1. I'm on the draw here, playing blue artifacts, splash Demonic Tutor for black, splash Fractured Identity for white. And this hand is kind of a good example of, you know, having double Tinker Target in your deck. And no matter how you slice it, it's just, you know, twice as likely to show up at a bad time. With that being said, this is a keep. Let's see if we can catch up with a Fractured Identity in the mid game. Plains and Chrome Mox. Okay, so I'm already thinking about my 2 sweepers on the sideboard. Let's see, what can I do here? Turn 1, map. Turn 1, desk. Turn 2, find academy. Do good stuff. Is that Parallax Wave? Yeah, Parallax Wave. On place, turn 1, Copter. And there's the second Tinker target. Not good. Let's just play out a couple of artifacts. The next turn, crack map, play that. Have 2 blue available. And then the turn after, is this Jackrabbit? Yeah, it looks like a Jackrabbit to me. I think that card hits me first before I can take it with Fractured, which is unfortunate, but that's how it goes. Very nice curve here by the opponent, accelerated out by Promox. So funnily enough, if my opponent does not have a Mox, I get to Fracture first. If I'm on the play, I get to Fracture first. But that's just magic these days, in my humble opinion. Here's Tolarian Academy. We can play that card out. It's fine. So basically now I'm hoping... Yeah, this is a weird spot because my opponent's stuff will be tapped. So my Fractured... I guess I get an untap with Fractured. I was in Treasury mode there. But my opponent's cards aren't very strong. to kill with Fractured. Fractured is a card that has gone from bonkers to just a good card. There's so many situations where the card is lackluster, but I think the main thing is the mana curve of the average cube deck is just getting lower and lower. So I think that's the main thing. Rabbit gets in there. It makes two friends. I'm not quite sure what this is. Yeah, so now my opponent is gonna kill my Emerald here to keep, like, which is basically a double Stone Rain in the context of Tolarian Academy. We kind of knew it wasn't a creature because then the opponent would have played it before in Crude. I'm really in trouble here. Talisman. Take one more hit. Let's see. How much mana do I have next time? Land, 3, 4, 5. Then I have 6 mana next time. Can I draw? Problem is, Tinker's not a card. Yeah, this is super rough. Soup. Talisman. Yeah, I'm just getting run over here. That's how it goes sometimes. The white deck is very, very strong. And my comeback buttons are all, unavailable. Some are in the sideboard, one is in the hand. And I think at this point, not even Finger Portal would do it, so pretty bread and butter white start from the opponent here, just playing, stuff on curve, putting pressure. The thing about the white deck is it's not getting outclassed as much either these days. So one, it's fast. Ooh, Strip Mine is nice to know about as we go to sideboarding. So one, it's good at putting pressure on and, bearing the opponent. And two, it's not that bad in the late game, so I'll cut Karn because it's so hard to protect, and I think I'm cutting the Triplicate Titan. I think all of these other cards are serviceable. I mean, I could cut Spell Pierce and say, oh, my opponent's deck is probably primarily creatures, but I mean, the opponent has Parallax Wave, the opponent has Smuggler's Copter, the opponent has the Oblivion Ring type card, so I don't even think that's, that doesn't even hold. There could be some Planeswalkers in there, etc. So let's count white. I just added 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, I guess. Let's see if we can squeeze another white one in here without destroying our blue availability. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I don't really want to go below 10, so maybe this is fine. Super scary with the Strip Mine on top of it. Portal in my opener. Okay. Could be one of those days. I do think my hand is too strong to mulligan, though. That sucks. Because now I can't dig for Tinker, which was otherwise a good card to have in my deck. I just think with, turn 1 Tameo, turn 2 Mana Leak, get into the game, I think it would be, a losing strategy to mulligan there. I don't think I have anything to back this portal. I don't have, like, a Brainstorm or a Jace or something. No. Yeah, this is rough. Because now I lose a lot of, of my inevitability in the late game. Let's see what this is. Ooh, the opponent kills it right away with Portable Hole. There's a Daze. I mean, I would rather not Daze. I think I'm just shocking and passing here. I will have to make a decision, though, if my opponent taps out for a 2-drop. What's more likely? That I get to Daze something else for free later? I don't care about that card. Is this a Strip Mine? I would be very sad if this is a Strip Mine. Okay, no Strip Mine. Okay, that's a good draw. So at least now I can conceal a little bit of info, go Preordain. There's a true name. Opal is a brick, so pretty ideal preordain there. Getting rid of a bad one, drawing a good one. So now I hope to mana leak something, play true name, daze something, and then have true name alone on the battlefield. But right now I have 2 bricks in my hand, and I need to draw white mana for this to work later. I need to even need to draw 2 lands for it to work. So I could get overwhelmed here. Ooh, Black Lotus. Black Lotus I let resolve here because I'm hoping to mana leak something juicy. Could have mana leaked the Lotus though, but I don't know. That's weird. That is super weird. Why would you pass with 6 mana? Subtlety is a great draw. I'm thinking about Emperor. But unfortunately, I'm also thinking about Fourth Eolingus. I could get Mana Tithe now. Oh, Interrupter. Okay, that's strong. My opponent's a no, it's not Interrupter. Okay. I was 100% sure that's why the opponent fetched. Yeah, I mean, let's see. Maybe the opponent's just super flooded and even cracking the clearing here. Yeah, okay. I mean, the opponent's all dressed up with nowhere to go, but they have a lot of time. Land. Hey, Tinker laughs in my face. So this is also funny. No cheap artifacts and the portal in hand. I don't have any secondary Tinker targets once I cut the Triplicate Titan, which is also a bit ironic in this situation. I wanted to minimize the amount of dead cards I would have against, fast aggro. So, what do you say? The surgery was a success, but the patient died? Tap land there, not the best. Memory Lapse could be like a Time Walk card here, so I'm going to bank on that. Just imagine, like, my opponent plays something big, I Subtlety to the top of the deck, keep attacking, Memory Lapse it once more, like, then it's like a Time Walk card. And I think that's better than my average draw here by quite a bit, so. My opponent's hand is so weird this game. I don't even know how it's possible. And my opponent has all the mana in the world, so it's not like they have a handful of red cards or black cards or whatever. They can cast whatever. Could be like Infinite Plows, Parallax Wave, Palace Jailer. Could be a lot of that stuff. Here's a library just in time for the opponent. Yeah, that's also a bit tragic. I just... I haven't done anything this game. I've not even countered anything. My counters are terrible when it comes to leak and daze. The lapse and the subtlety, that's the playable ones. Okay, so now there's something. Okay. Mm. No. I have to think here. I think I'm supposed to mana leak and daze that card. Because those cards are not doing anything in the future unless it's a even more expensive card. I think I like this. Still holding up the Memory Lapse, and then have Subtlety for next turn. So my opponent correctly identified that I was holding up counters. That's why they played on instant speed, even though they had a boots. So, ooh, and now the opponent has to pass. Okay, maybe we did it here. I don't know. White is good for next turn. Two name attacking opponent down to 7. Yeah, this game is so weird. It's one of the worst draws I've ever seen out of a white deck. I'm not gonna flash in the subtlety. I feel like I can win this game without doing so. I got very lucky here. As it turns out, this draw couldn't beat like assertive stuff at all. So this could be a good example of put to the top of the deck. The time walk effect is awesome. I think that's a good play. Let's see. I don't think my opponent has just been hoarding spells here. Decrum Coast doesn't do anything for me right now. The good thing is the game is soon over. So I'll attack my opponent to 1 here. Opponent plays a cat. I believe the cat attacks for 2, puts my opponent to... Let's just read this one. City's Blessing. If you gained life, create a 1/1. Sure. Then if you have the City's Blessing, you get another one. So equipping with the boots here is 2 damage, and True Name is lethal, so I don't mind that. My opponent needs something else in order to prolong this game, which I assume they have since they play on. So let's see. Let us see. Patiently waiting here for my opponent to make a move. And they realize it. Okay, perfect. Trying to think about my white mana again. Sorry. So I have like 8.5. And what about blue? 12.5-ish. 12, maybe. Counterspell is kind of the only reason. I think I can do this in One World Plains, because especially when I'm playing from behind, if I draw my Dam or Sunfall, I need to have double white at that point, or it's just really a big problem. Okay, so I'm kind of lucky to get to game 3 here after getting totally destroyed game 1 and having my opponent do absolutely nothing game 2 against my average draw. So, I mean, maybe it's time to see the potential of Tinker Portal. I like this. This does need a white source within a reasonable future in order to Wrath, but I have turn 1 mana leak. The worst thing that can happen is Sentinel. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. That's so brutal. So let's see. If I go... Okay. Let's see. I think this is better, because then next turn I can play land and cast mana leak without without giving my opponent a card. This Thundering Pulse is tempting because it digs me further to the white source that will get me back into the game, but I think I like this, especially when my opponent did not develop a powerful one here. So the thing about this Opal is it doesn't really do anything right now, so I think with that logic, I can play Plains and pass. If I develop it, I pay 1 mana, and then the mana leak gives my opponent a card, so let's hang on to that card. The good news is, I guess, that any artifact now enables double white. I'm trying to set up a situation where I destroy my opponent with the Wrath. Biggest problem here is I can't count on having the double white, so I need to mana leak even a creature that would otherwise die to Dam, right? So that is a bit annoying. Flavor Alexandria is only going to be a colorless source this game. My opponent kind of knows about counters. I mean, Glimmerlens is so annoying because it draws cards, so I think this is correct. I will get owned by Mana Tithe here, but that's okay. I think if you start playing around stuff like that, oh, if my opponent has mana tithe, I bet, like, if you give them a free card every time, it's going to be very bad long term. Okay. And this is very bad short term, so there is that. Here's a talisman. Okay, so now I can wrath my opponent next turn. So now I go play that. Hey, play that. Thundering Falls. Get rid of a swamp. And pass the turn. So I can wrath next turn, but that's not necessarily obvious for the opponent. I'm hoping for, you know, another creature getting added to the board. The worst thing is like something like a planeswalker, something that stays in play. Basically, that would be bad for me. The opponent has 5 mana to work with, which is quite nice. I'm gonna get hit for 4. The opponent draws a card. The thing is, the opponent showed a few ways to play on instant speed, which is also a good way to play around a Wrath effect. Let's see what this is. My opponent knows about days, so best case scenario is this is a rabbit. Palace Jailer. Palace Jailer is actually very bad news for me here. It's another thing that lets my opponent play through the Wrath. So can I do anything smart here? I mean, fracturing the Jailer is not exciting, so I guess white. So I go Damn with Overload. A1. So now I could play this Pearl out. Probably should. My opponent's the Monarch, so I need my opponent to play something to the board that I can fracture and then try and get back into the game. Guide of Souls. Hopefully something better arrives. Johnny is something better. So now, my opponent can do some good stuff here. So I'm looking to set up a situation where I kill the Ajani, get a copy. Let's see. Yeah, kill a Johnny, make a copy, probably. Let's see. The opponent can equip here. Only with 2 energy, so the opponent can get in for 3 here with the cat token. Okay, so I guess they go for the double equip. That's totally fine. Cat getting in for 3. Not enough energy. Opponent draws a card. Super annoying. So now I think I have to fracture the Ajani. Yeah, I have to fracture identity the Ajani. Let's see. I know about Strip Mine, so I might as well keep open double blue in this spot. Let's fracture the Ajani. I get 2 bodies. Not bad. And then I probably have to use Mystic Confluence to become the Monarch. Problem is the opponent has a haste equipment, so it's not all fun and dandy. Wow. I got to pierce a Parallax Wave here, which would have won the game on the spot. And now it looks like the opponent does not have attacks. They draw an extra card, though. So now I can bounce both creatures, draw a card, attack with just the cat, stay back, because my opponent can play... Yeah, the thing is, if my opponent has 2 creatures, though, then my opponent can go to 3 energy and make a flyer, but I think I have to play like that. So let's see. Blue, blue, colorless, colorless, colorless. Turn. Also have to pay for ward. Have to remember that. So bounce those two. Pay one. Draw. Research desk. Attack. I become the monarch. Let's see. Sacrifice, exile the top 2, choose one of them until the end of your next turn. Okay, so this works. Play that. Draw. Sunfall. My opponent needs 2 creatures here in order to fly in and become the monarch. That's exactly what they did. Okay. So now I'm back on the back foot. I'm getting hit for 6 here. Super back foot. This haste equipment was huge this game for, you know, fighting over the monarch. So I'm gonna go to 4 here. Crack. Research desk. Guess I'm looking for Tinker specifically. I can go for blue here. Does not hurt me, I think. White, white, fine. Research desk into portal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I guess I choose that and try and draw a land. Oh, okay. I see what I just did there. Okay. Unearth and Sacrifice is 3 mana. If I hit exactly Tolarian Academy, then what? Then I have enough. Okay, I think that's my out. I don't think I can win if I've ever passed a turn here. Double counting my mana. I have exactly 8. Okay. Okay, that is... I can... I can see the fun in that. So if I hit Tolarian Academy now, I gain 1 mana, and that's exactly what I need in order to portal my opponent. I can get back the Monarch, hopefully grind away with this game. This is kind of funny. Okay. Let's unearth. Okay, it's red to unearth. Fair enough. Red. Colorless. Crack the research desk. Okay, hit the hit the Tinker. So now, if I Sunfall, my opponent needs any creature and I'm dead. If I Preordain, I don't think I can draw anything. What can I draw here? Confluence gone, Identity gone, Karn sideboard. True Name doesn't do anything. This is a flyer, right? So attack with both. Opponent stare down, trades. So I shouldn't do that. Can be cast until the end of this turn. Can be cast until the end of your next turn. Okay, I mean, now we cast Sunfall. We lose to any creature, but that's our only out. That was a great... This was a great match. I mean, all of the 3 games, my Tinker targets and Tinker was laughing at me, but that's just, you know, that's just entertaining, right? The variance of that just imagine we hit Tinker here, we destroy our opponent, we get an untapped land, we destroy our opponent. That's just how it goes sometimes. I can see the fun in that for sure. My opponent needs a creature. They did not have a creature. So it looks like this game will go on. My opponent kills my 5/5, which is a good play. The worth remembering is my opponent still has the Monarch. So now I have a naked Seed Shark that is going to be better than a random draw. I'm in deep trouble this game. If only I had a, Memory Lapse, Counterspell, the Mana Leak, whatever, I would be reasonably happy. But now it's just, it's just too likely that my opponent can just bury me with something. Okay. I have a lot of bad cards here. My opponent's drawing 2 cards a turn. Yeah. Yeah, I got a little hope there with the Sunfall. But the problem is, if my opponent does not have the haste creature to kill me, or the creature rather, to kill me, then they're going to have interaction, right? They can't just have a million lands in hand, so. Here's something green that kills me. I'm ready to type in the good games. It looked like my opponent was 2 colors all along, and that was kind of one of my ways out that my opponent had on castables. Pest Infestation. Look at this. We should... Yeah, this is interesting. My opponent is saying, I saw Mana Leak the other game. I don't want to, make that card relevant. So I'm not going to get greedy here. So as a result, my opponent cannot kill me on the spot, but my opponent is doing just fine here. And there's Smuggler's Copter afterwards. So now my opponent can crew that, equip, and that's it. Good games, great match, and the opponent moves on, and I am eliminated. That was a shame. This deck was, I don't know, not a 10 out of 10, but this deck was very, very strong. Don't get me wrong, so was my opponent's. And with a little bit more luck, we, tinker our opponent or hardcast. It's so painful. Or hardcast the portal, and we ride off to the sunset. But the opponent really showed why haste is so strong. Like, this card just messed me up totally. Every time I was trying to make a comeback, this card would just bury me. So, also pretty cool display. Yeah, I mean, this was a short video. I will try and do better in the next. We drafted a good deck. We got beat by a better deck, or maybe, just as good deck. That's how it goes. All right, that's going to do it for today. Don't forget about the giveaway, and I'll see you next time.